Hey y'all, so I have a quick little story time, if you will. Let's talk about Valentine's Day. This all started when my 11-year-old twin nephews decided, or they didn't decide, but I was informed that they have girls that they like. And not only do they have girls that they like, but they both had asked these girls to be their Valentine. And I'm aghast. I'm like, what? First of all, you 11 years old. Okay. But second of all, what? Like, I remember when you were like, so I'm like, understanding that I probably have different values than mom has. I didn't want to push that on them, but I wanted to know like what is it about these chicks? Like, why do you want them to be your Valentine? I think I didn't go too deep into it because I was like, I think I was jarred and frightened by all the realities of life when I was really young. So I didn't want to do that. And also, like, they're not my kids. I can't push my ideologies on them. So I went into TT mode. One of my nephews had an event Valentine's Day and wouldn't actually be able to take his Valentine out anywhere. And I'm like, well, you've already asked her, like, what are we going to do now? I'm like, wheels turning. Okay, I love to put together events, packages, gifts, whatever. So let me do this for my nephews. Long story short, I went to the store and went crazy, and I wanted to go even more crazy, but mom said no and ended up doing a digital one for one of my nephews and then the little bag for another one, drove it, dropped it off at the girl's house. As I'm doing this, mind you, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day for several reasons. I'm like, I'm broke. Hey, you got the check? He's like, sure, it's for the kids. But he was like, why are you doing this? You don't celebrate Valentine's Day. And I was like, well, I want to be TT, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, but if that's not what you do, then you don't have to like give into it. So I did it. And then part of me started to feel guilty because I felt like maybe I wasn't being my authentic self. Maybe I wasn't being real because I think kids nowadays just want you to be real. But also, I remember that I won't say trauma, but my mom, I think, was very real with me when it came to things that like outside influences. Like, no, that's not what I'm going to teach you. And no, just because everybody's doing it, that's not what we're going to do. And I'm going to tell you why. I think maybe it ruined my fun then, but I'm glad that I had that now. So I want you to do a deep dive because, again, Noggin ENT, we are all about edutainment. Sorry, somebody's dog is barking and I'm not going to like blur that out. So it is what it is because this is so informal story time. I just did a quick Google search because I'm like, listen, y'all going to have to go out and get your own information. But the first thing that made me be like, Valentine's Day. We got Cupid. We got these little babies running around half naked shooting an arrow. What does that look like to me? I feel like it's full of pedophilia and I don't like it. So I started to do some research. I mean, I'd never celebrated it when I was growing up, but I think this one was one of those things. It's like it's just a given. We don't celebrate. I don't think it was necessarily explained until I just started doing some research on my own. I'm just going to give just a simple Google research, and I want you guys to check this out. Valentine's Day has dark origins that include animal sacrifice, whipping, and execution. The holiday's origins are also somewhat murky due to a lack of written records, so this may or may not be true. Festivals and rituals. The Romans celebrated Lupercalia from February 13th to 15th, a festival that included animal sacrifice, whipping women, and matchmaking. How does those go together? In the 5th century, Pope Gelasius I outlawed Lupercalia and established February 14th as a day to celebrate Saint Valentine. So it started as this, morphing into something else. He outlawed it, but maybe he replaced it with something else. So people were used to doing something on that day. Let's give something good for something bad. I don't know. St. Valentine's martyrs. The Catholic Church honors the martyrdom of at least two men named Valentine. One legend says that Valentine was a Roman priest who defied Emperor Claudius II by marrying young lovers in secret. I read up about that story. Basically, it goes that the emperor decided who would be married and who wouldn't, and there was something. And the Roman priest was like, I'm going to marry you guys anyway. and then he was killed. Another legend says that Valentine was a bishop who was executed by Claudius II for helping Christians escape Roman prisons. And then today, Valentine's Day became a holiday to celebrate love in the Middle Ages. So it started from these festivals and rituals of whipping women and matchmaking and sacrifice. And then today, Valentine's Day is a commercialized holiday that's big business. This doesn't even include the Cupid type of thing that really bothers me. But the one thing I'm just going to leave you guys with, you go to Dollar Tree is my zhuzh favorite store ever. It's so funny that even though, the origins can be argued or whatever, just the commercialization of everything is hilarious. You walk into the Dollar Tree, and let's just say, I think Halloween starts it off. You've got a big old end cap of all of this stuff. The very next day, by the end of the day, there is Thanksgiving stuff and Christmas stuff. And then before you could even get halfway through the month of November, you've got New Year stuff. And then before you can get through that, you've got Valentine's Day stuff. And the same day that there was Valentine's Day stuff, there was what's the March leprechaun, St. Patrick's Day, and Easter stuff at the same time. Like it's just blatant. It's not even like, get this for your loved one anymore. That's story time. Go do some research. Why do you celebrate Valentine's Day? I mean, no shade, no shade. Do you? Peace out.